surprised when they kind of spilled it early that you were a #1 seed?
Well, you actually spilled it because it was so loud in the house, during the time that I didn't hear what was said. And then, I just scrolled through Twitter, and I think you were the first person I saw that said that we were a 1 seed. So, but I wasn't sure how you knew that, if the bracket was leaked, and then slowly some other tweets played out. Realized that we were a 1 seed at that point.
So being a 1 seed for the first time in program history, it's obviously a huge tribute to your team. What was the team's reaction to that, and what do you think of that?
Well, I'm sure I didn't necessarily poll everybody, but I think they were excited. I told them it was well earned. It shows that we played a very, very tough schedule, excuse me, all the way through, and that we were by and large pretty successful with that schedule. Having said that, it's not going to mean much when we play on Friday. We'll have to be ready to go. But I think it's a testament to the guys that were just up here, along with JP, for their leadership and our talent level, our togetherness, and so I'm proud of those guys.
Chris, obviously, going into the NCAA tournament as a senior-led team is an advantage, but how much additionally does it help that not only have they been to the NCAA tournament all 4 years, but you've experienced all the peaks and valleys. You've had tough losses, you've had tight wins. Pretty much anything that you could experience in the tournament, your seniors have. How much of a help is that for you?
I don't know. The tournament's so unique. We have to play our best basketball if we want to advance. I think we're right on the verge of that. I thought our defense, by and large, grew up in the last 3 weeks of the season, and we're going to need, both sides. We're going to need to play well offensively. We're going to have to limit turnovers, no matter who the opponent is. We're going to have to defend, like our hair's on fire, like Coach Prosser used to say. I think you can look at a team like Villanova a few years ago when they won the national championship, and then the very next year they had a really good team and they were bounced out in the second round. So experience helps, but being ready to play that night is probably the most important thing.
Chris, the opportunity to play against a first 4 team, I think, is a new experience for this program. Is that correct?
I think so. Well, no, we played Ole Miss. They
That's
weren't
right, yeah.
one of the last 4 in.
Well, how do you handle the preparation for that, and does it change at all from what you would do for a tournament-style environment?
A little similar to what we did in the Big East tournament. We prepared for both. As a coaching staff, we'll have a little bit more time since the game's played on Wednesday night to implement it with our players, because we won't play on Thursday, we'll play on Friday. So a little bit more time, but I think, teams get used to it in tournament format. Whether it was, our experience in Las Vegas this year in the exempt event, our experience in Orlando last year, you get as much film as you can, you figure out tendencies, and, again, we'll have 36 hours or so to prepare our guys before we play on Friday.
Chris, given that you're a 1, UC is a 2, you're both playing in Nashville, you both have been in the top 10 essentially the entire year. Can you speak a little bit to the evolution of college basketball in your hometown?
It's amazing. I remember, Xavier was barely on the map when I was in high school. I think, I vividly remember Byron, and his crew beating Missouri. I was in the hallways of St. X, and you just couldn't fathom winning an NCAA tournament game for Xavier. And I wasn't a big Xavier or UC fan at that time. I loved basketball, and it wasn't what it is in our area now. And I think both programs were about to explode. That's when Coach Huggins was just about to take over. Coach Gillen was just taking over. And then really, since that time, look at what both programs have done over the last, I'd like to say 10 years, but I'm a lot older than that, so 25 years or so. It's been amazing, and then to have 2 seasons that we've had speaks well to the area, basketball in this area. Is that it?
So, Chris, you don't know anything about, at this point, Texas Southern or NC Central, just because they're so far kind of out of your range at this point?
I'm going to watch a little bit of film later on. I mean, I know both head coaches. I know that both teams have a history of being in the tournament. I know NC Central's been there 3 times with Coach Moten in the last 5 years. I mean, he's a really good friend of mine. You know, Mike Davis coached in the national championship game when he had IU, and their team schedules, you know, arguably has the hardest schedule in college basketball every year. He plays like every game on the road. You know, he plays a lot of teams tooth and nail, and so we're going to get 2 teams that are used to being in the NCAA tournament. Well, we'll only get one of them, but one of 2.
And there's 6 teams of 10 for the Big East playing in the Big Dance. That speaks well of the league. I mean, did that surprise you that 6 got in of the 10?
No, not really. I mean, that's what's been predicted for a while. And you know, as you go on the road and you have these teams in your building, you can see up close and personal the talent level, the type of teams that we're dealing with. You know, each and every game. So it doesn't surprise me at all.
You seem pretty low-key about all of this, but are there any nerves at all about, are you feeling any pressure, or have you've been there before, you've done it, so let's go and do it?
I mean, we're not playing right now, so, you know, I feel nervous before every game. You know, I felt nervous before we played Morehead State, so I'll feel nervous before we play NC Central or Texas Southern, but it won't be any different than how I normally feel. And I think that what you do to, you know, alleviate those feelings is you prepare. You get your team as, you know, well prepared as you can, get them excited to play. And, you know, as we talked about, we have a senior-laden team, so I know that they'll play with some urgency.